changes in theories of anthropology. Scientists now say that Europe is the birthplace of mankind and not Africa. Sean Adeltabatabai reports, scientists have discovered that Europe was the birthplace of mankind and not Africa, as the history books have told us up to now. For years, most scientists believe that humans split from apes around 7 million years ago in Central Africa, where humans remained for a further 5 million years before exploring the rest of the globe. But the discovery of two fossils believed to be 7.2 million years old of an ape-like creature which had human teeth were found in Bulgaria and Greece recently. The Telegraph UK reports, human evolution, where remains have been discovered. We see that they were discovered the earliest, that is 8 million years ago, in Grecopithecus freibergi, remains found in Asmaka, Bulgaria, and Pyrgos, that's northern Greece. And we have the timeline there, Homo sapiens 0.2 million years, Homo erectus 1 million years, Homo habilis 2.1 million years, Australopithecus 4.5 million years, Ardipithecus 5.6 million years, Sahelanthropus chadensis and Grecopithecus freibergi 7 and 7.2 million years. So the discovery of these creatures named Grecopithecus freibergi and nicknamed El Greco by scientists prove our ancestors were already starting to evolve in Europe 200,000 years before the earliest African hominid. An international team of researchers say the findings entirely changed the beginning of human history and placed the last common ancestor of both chimpanzee and humans, the so-called missing link, in the Mediterranean region. At that time, climate change had turned Eastern Europe into an open savanna, which forced apes to find new food sources, sparking a shift towards bipedalism and research. That's what the researchers believe. Professor Nikolai Spasov from the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences says, this study changes the ideas relating to the knowledge about the time and the place of the first steps of the humankind. Grecopithecus is not an ape. He is a member of the tribe of hominins and the direct ancestor of Homo. The food for the Grecopithecus was related to the rather dry and hard savanna vegetation, unlike that of the recent great apes, which are living in forests. Therefore, like humans, he has wide molars and thick enamel. To some extent, this is a newly discovered missing link, but missing links will always exist because evolution is an infinite chain of subsequent forms. Probably El Greco's face will resemble a great ape with shorter canines. End quote. The team analyzed the two known species of Grecopithecus freibergi, a lower jaw from Greece and an upper premolar tooth from Bulgaria. Using computer tomography, they were able to visualize the internal structures of the fossils and show that the roots of premolars were widely fused. Quote, while great apes typically have 2 or 3 separate and diverging roots, the roots of Grecopithecus converge and are partially fused, a feature that is characteristic of modern humans, early humans, and several pre-humans. End quote. This is what the lead researcher, Professor Madeleine Bohm of the University of Tübingen, said. The lower jaw has additional dental root features suggesting that the species was a hominid. The species was also found to be several 100,000 years older than the oldest African hominid, Sahelanthropus chadensis, which was found in Chad. That's why it's chadensis. We were surprised, they say, by our results, as pre-humans were previously known only from sub-Saharan Africa. This was what student Johan Fuss, a Tübingen PhD student, claims. He conducted this part of the study. Professor David Began from the University of Toronto, paleoanthropologist and co-author of the study, said, this dating allows us to move the human-chimpanzee split into the Mediterranean area, end quote. During the period of the Mediterranean Sea, went through frequent periods of drying up completely, forming a land bridge between Europe and Africa and allowing apes and early hominids to pass between the continents. The team believed that evolution of hominids may have been driven by dramatic environmental changes which sparked the formation of the North African Sahara more than 7 million years ago and pushed species further north. They found large amounts of Sahara sand in layers dating from that period, suggesting that it lay much further north than today. Professor Bohm added, quote, "Our findings may eventually change our ideas about the origin of humanity. I personally don't think that the descendants of Brachopithecus die out. They may have spread to Africa later. The split of chimps and humans was a single event. Our data support the view that this split was happening in the Eastern Mediterranean, not in Africa. If accepted, this theory will indeed alter the very beginning of human history," end quote. However, some experts were more skeptical about the findings. Retired anthropologist and author Dr. Peter Andrews, formerly at the Natural History Museum in London, said, quote, "It is possible that the human lineage originated in Europe, but very substantial fossil evidences place the origin in Africa, including several partial skeletons and skulls. I would be hesitant about using a single character from an isolated fossil to set against the evidence from Africa," he said. This research was published in the journal PLOS One, PLOS One. It's by Sean Adeltabatabai on your Newswire.